What up, YouTube Digital? Sorry, I'm still not feeling great. How often are you supposed to take this shit? Every 4 hours. Alright, cool. This medicine has carnauba wax in it. The same shit I got for the car. List of ingredients. Carnauba wax, I know. Ain't that fucking cool? Maybe if I take a shit, I could wax the car afterwards. I don't know. But anyhow, yeah, yeah. Bankruptcy. All right. Okay. First off, let me get a disclaimer out. It says I'm not a financial wizard. I just deal with reality. If you think so, yeah, go talk to an expert. But I'm going to say this right now. The worst thing you can do, if you don't understand how all this shit works and you don't understand how, to get around the system in different ways, the longer you wait, the worse it's going to be. Don't try to be don't try to be generous. Go in, let your lawyer do his deal, and walk out. Right now is probably the best time you could ever file bankruptcy. Still, with everything going on in the world, if you are barely making it, paycheck to paycheck, and a lot of that money is not student loans, taxes, because those you can't write off. You're stuck. But if it's house payment, credit cards, car payment, everything else, you really need to think about what the fuck's going on. Alright? You need to sit there and look at your financial life. You need to put down everything. You need to open up Excel, start filling in boxes. Start filling in boxes. My house, my payment, what I owe. My car, my payment, what do I owe. Credit cards, payment, what do I owe. You keep going, all your bills, all your real bills. Alright? You need to figure out how much, how much fucked up are you? If you were $500 less a month, would it be okay? What's the deal? What do you need? Okay, first off, these financial consumer credit, whatever the fuck things where they take it all and put it into one loan and all that. Fuck that. BK. All the way. Fuck all that bullshit. You make one mistake and it all goes away, you owe all the money again, and it fucks up your credit. BK it. Just be done. There's misconceptions that bankruptcies are the death of people. It's not even closely true. Now, let's talk about, let's say you're drowning. You're barely making it. You're paycheck to paycheck. Shit's a month late. You're barely making it. Alright? You got cars. Now, if you go into bankruptcy, there's a couple things that could happen. Now, I'm not sure exactly if the law has changed. This is going off of, there are a lot of things that have changed, But I'm going off of the information that was current when I filed it back in 2000. Not everything has changed. A lot of stuff is the same. Mostly what you could file and how often and shit has changed. But back then, if you had an auto loan, you could keep paying it and it just go on. You could reaffirm it, which means you and the auto loan maker come up with an agreement. Now, let's look at this option because it's a double-edged sword, okay? Now I'll explain why. If you reaffirm, make sure you're making out. Meaning that, say you have a car that's 12 years old, it's got 150,000 miles on it. It's getting up there, man. It's scary. You don't work on the car, so if it breaks down, it's going to cost you a ton of money. Alright. Now, personally, get rid of it. Just let it go. But say you have some attachment to it. Work with the bank. Have them drop everything. Go in there with your payments. Go, okay, look, I bought this car for $15,000. Or let's just say I bought it for 10 grand 3 years ago. I have paid, as of today, $9,489. Alright? Say, look, I understand you guys need to make money. Alright? I understand that. I'm cool, but can we do something here? Can we bring the loan down where I only owe you $1,500, maybe $2,000, and we cut it down to payments for over 2 years, so I can breathe again, so I can have $100 a month payments. I don't want you to lose any money, because the worst thing, and you're a good lawyer, and yourself can attain this. The thing is they don't want to lose money, okay? Worst off, if they really push it, the bankruptcy law, the federal guy has the power just to tell them, go away, you're done, you've been paid enough, they're keeping the car, fuck you. He has that power, and they know that too. The likelihood that ain't gonna happen, so don't bank on it. But it could happen. Likelihood, no. So you want to give them enough where they're going to make a little bit of money. Say, look, I understand you guys want to make money. I'm okay with that. But please understand, I ain't got the money right now. So can we, cut all this bullshit, get me back down to like $100 a month payments, and, we'll just lower what I owe left to more around what you guys actually loaned for the car, and get rid of all this other bullshit, so that you guys at least get your money back, because if you try to sell it, you ain't gonna get that much money. Alright? After if they take it back, even if it's a voluntary, they still gotta pay all that repo fuck fees and everything else. So they're going to be in at $1,000 just in fees and all this other bullshit if they take it back. If they can't resell it for what you owe left plus $1,000, and I'm not talking about interest, I'm talking about principal, plus $1,000, they're going to lose their dick on it. So remember that. You have that in your favor. Bring that up if you get a chance. Sometimes you don't. Sometimes they don't even show up. They don't show up. Whatever. Realistically, with the way that things are going today, here's what I would do. This is me. I would say, I would get something better. And if you don't think you're going to get an auto loan, you're fucking wrong. You could get an auto loan. If you maybe you have to go to a buy here, pay here, maybe you'll have to go to a lot where they pop in a GPS and you have 30% APR or 20% APR, you'll get a loan. Trust me, you'll get a loan. Don't worry about that part. Go around before your bankruptcy, say, look, I got this pile of shit here, man. This thing's ready to blow up. I'm filing bankruptcy, but I need a car. They might even say, hey, just leave that here, drop it, and we'll do it all right now. Don't cast yourself out. There are hundreds of different things that could go down. The best thing to do, if you're going to pay for a car, you have to pay for something that's going to work. Okay, it's okay to have a cost of ownership. Every car has a cost of ownership. That's the cost per month to drive that vehicle with it running. It'd be better for you to have a $250 a month payment than to be paying on a car that has 50,000 miles on it, rather than you paying $175 a month on a car that has 300,000 miles on it, or 150,000 miles. So keep that in mind. You want to come out better, not fucked. Okay, this whole bankruptcy is to get you back on your feet, on the good. The last thing you need is a couple broke ass cars. So if that's going to be a problem, let them go. Alright? You'll get another car. Trust me, go around to your local lots. You'll get a car. You're not going to get a brand new car. You're not going to get a 2-year-old car. You could get a car. And it's going to be costly, but we'll talk about that a little bit. One big misconception is when you come out of bankruptcy, you wipe off all those debts and you don't pay the piper. That's true, but not true. You might not pay those people, but these people, you're going to pay. Your interest rate's going to be higher. People worry too much about stupid shit. You don't need a credit card to live. Where's no credit card in here? You can see that pink. That's a debit card. No credit card. Don't need one. You could get one after bankruptcy, but it's going to be one of those 25% with the $150 a year fee type credit card. Do you really want that? You could do it. Do you really want that? Think about it. If you're going to pay the piper, pay it in a car. Get yourself a better car. You're going to have to sign on about it. First off, don't worry about the APR. And I know a lot of people will sit there and slam on their brakes right now. Digital, you got to worry about the APR. No, you don't. APR is there for people who don't pay. Okay? If you borrow $7,000 and you take 4 years to pay it off, that APR is going to bite you in the ass. If you borrow $7,000 and you pay it off in 3 years, that APR is not going to be that bad. If you borrow $7,000, you pay it off in 2 years, that APR ain't going to be that bad at all. Okay? Again, you're going to pay, but it's a double-edged sword. So the best route for that, for a car, say if you came out and let's just use the Jetta, it's easy. $7,000 plus all that other bullshit. So it turned out to be, almost $9,000 with taxes and all that other bullshit. Then we had our down and all that other bullshit. So they carried about $6,000. Okay? Now the APR is high. That's cool. That's fine. 6 months. If we're that worried about it, in 6 months we can refi. Most banks, as long as you get down, you get enough equity in your car, they'll do a refi. Okay? You see, that's where people don't understand how financing is getting nowadays. You could have the world's shittiest credit, but as long as your car payments are okay, you're not going to get a brand new car. But you could get a damn near brand new car at a pretty decent rate compared to what your credit is. As long as you have a good down payment. And I'm not talking 50%, I'm talking about, the normal 20 to 30. I could go out, even though my credit's fucked from that foreclosure, I could go out and buy a $60,000 truck without any problems. I just need to have 10 grand down and, preferably 15 grand down. There's, is my payment records are fine on cars. So they won't trip. So you got to make sure that if you scrape your credit, okay, if shit goes bad and you need to file bankruptcy, the last thing you want to do is fuck your credit on your car. Fuck the credit cards. Fuck them. Fuck all that bullshit. Do not fuck the car unless it's absolutely mandatory. Alright? Try to keep that as best you can until the bankruptcy goes through and everything else, and then later on, when you go and get another one, you can tell them, hey, look, I wanted to keep it. The bank still wanted me to pay 10 grand on a car that was ready to blow up. I tried to offer to work with them. They didn't say, fuck you, pay us or else. So I let the car go. All the way up to my bankruptcy, my car payments were on time. I'm not, and you're going to get a loan. It's a whole different story how it used to be. Now, when I did my first bankruptcy because of the car accident and stuff, I got well, then it was only a 2-year-old car. It was brand new. Only had like 30,000 miles on it. And I got it the day that bankruptcy was discharged. It was 30 days after the court date. So I got that. They came and picked up my Exploder. So there are ways to work out things. And usually they don't come and pick up the old car until after the day or a day or two after the discharge. So sometimes you can even have time. So the first thing, if you're going down... Okay, I'm busy. If you're going downhill, go to a professional. Do not go to one of those, stupid, oh, we'll work with you to lower your credit. No. Go to a real bankruptcy lawyer that specializes in bankruptcy, not specializes in ambulance chasing or anything else. Bankruptcy. It's its own specialty. You need a good one. Then, in the meantime, if you have to scrap shit, if you can't pay for shit, kill the credit cards first. I know a lot of people have problems with that, but kill them first. Really think about it, and this is something you need to talk to a lawyer who really knows what they're doing. It might be best, I don't know how the law, because usually they have a big funny deal, like if you go and charge a whole bunch of shit up and then go file bankruptcy within a few months or whatever, that's like bad. That's fraud. So you got to be careful, but you might want to try to get out of those old vehicles and into something before the bankruptcy. Trade them in, trade them out, and everything else. Try to keep the APR a little lower. something like that, again, best to talk to a lawyer and a car guy. You know, uh, go to a dealer that you trust. And you're not going to a new car. At that point, you're not going to a new car. You're going to a used car. Try to get the best as possible. You might not get the big old Chevy diesel, blah, 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 but try to get the thing that's the best for you. The best in your price range, the best in mileage, and everything else to give you a fresh start and you can keep going. You trade in that old son of a bitch or let it repo out, you know, fuck all that bullshit. But don't be afraid. Don't. It's not going to kill you. Bankruptcy ain't shit now. It ain't shit. Bad credit is such a joke now because there's always someone. I laugh at how loan people out there operate now. You know, they might say, okay, we'll put a GPS in your car. We might put, you might have to do a buy here, pay here. You know, make sure if you're going through all these hoops to make them happy, say, okay, make sure it's going to report to your credit file though. Because some of these jackasses, you know, they'll make you jump through all these fucking hoops to get a fucking car. And they don't even have any way to report to any of the credit agencies. If they can't report it, then fuck them. You know, fuck all that shit. Don't get stuck. There's always, go to a bigger city closer to you. There's always a better deal. You know, hell, I mean, my credit, I have a foreclosure. And they're wanting me to buy an M3 right now. And that truck I have is financed. I only owe like $1,800 on it. The only reason I've been paying on it, I never had to finance it in the first place. But I'm doing it to fix my credit with automobiles. I don't give a shit about the rest of this stuff. I don't care. Doesn't matter. You know, you don't need it. I mean, here's the thing. I've told somebody else this. If you need furniture, now listen to this very clear. Because you're going to have to become in control of your life. You need to understand how financing works and everything else. You need to know how APR calculates and all this other shit to make the informed decision. But say if you need furniture, that's easy. You go to an Aaron's or a Rent-A-Center or a small, you know, furniture store that will do credit. There you go. Digital Rent-A-Center is a ripoff. Yeah, no. If you get an Xbox, you're gonna get raped. If you get $1,000 set of Ashley couches, and if you know how to figure out the APR compared to others, no, you're not gonna get. Department store cards are usually at 20%. So figure it out. It's not that bad. You're gonna pay a little bit more, you know, but it's usually not that bad. If you get furniture, a bed, something like that. Now electronics, you really need to do your calculations. And sometimes, well, you're gonna pay for it. But most of the shit in there, as long as it's not electronics, is not that bad. It's when you get in the electronics they rape you. But then you say, okay, well, then where do I get electronics? QVC, Shop NBC, HSN, all those things have all those flex pays and all those other things. There you go. There's one outlet. Or, I don't know, pay cash. If you can't pay cash, I don't know, find a place that does those flex pays. Or go to Aaron's. Aaron's is usually sometimes a little better. than Rent-A-Center. But again, you gotta do your homework. You gotta look. If you buy a TV, go, okay, it's a cash price. It's a cash price. Ask them, okay, if I come in here with cash, I just want to buy it and go home. What's that amount? Is it close to what a store is? Okay, then go, okay, what's the 90-day price? Well, it's usually the same as the cash price. Most of those places have 90 days, same as cash. So you got to think, can I pay this off in 90 days? So you got to think about that. All right. Now, go, okay. Now, you got to figure out APR. There's a lot of calculators on here that will help you out. Store credit's about 20%, 21%, $19.99, somewhere in there. Figure out how much this would cost you if you went with the 2-year deal with Best Buy or any of these other knuckleheads. You're going to be shocked at how much you pay there. It's going to be pretty damn. It's not going to be that much less. Other things you could do. Layaways. There's still some places around in this world that do layaways. You know, look around. There's always ways out. You might not get the best and the baddest, but until you can rebuild your credit, plenty of things you can do. Plenty. From cars to everything else. So, yeah. Anyhow. Yeah, that's it on this. Unless you have questions, then put them below and I'll try to answer them as best I can. Do I worry about all this shit? No. Not anymore. It's mostly bullshit. Do I feel a slave to the system? No. Not at all. The system works for me and how I want it to work.